Okay, no more Mr. Nice Guy. You've been too nice recently. Too soft. Trying to preserve peace. Trying to be like J. Cole out here. Guys, can we just all get along, please? I want you to get that savage out of you. I want you to be the kind of person that people think twice about fucking with. Be a gentleman, but be the kind of person that people know has boundaries. People know that if I poke this motherfucking bear, he'll destroy me. He'll rip me apart. Some of you guys are too soft, and I'm just keeping it real. I used to be like that myself in my late teens, early 20s. Trying to be everybody's friend. Remember, if you're everybody's friend, you are a spineless individual. You're a fake and you're a phony. Have principles that you hold on to, core values. Say what you mean and mean what you say. If something doesn't feel right, don't hide it away. Talk about it straight away. Conflict ignored is conflict magnified. In relationships, if you don't check your partner immediately on the disrespect, in a loving way, I'm not saying that you have to start insulting them, and no. But if you just say, honey, that was out of pocket, what will happen is if you bring it up later on, she'll be like, well, why didn't you mention it the first time it happened? Why now, motherfucker? You weak bitch. That's how she's going to be thinking. And that's how people are going to think in business as well. If you don't mention something, imagine signing a business deal that you agreed on. And then 2 years later, you mention, oh, I didn't actually like that deal from the beginning. Too late now. You didn't mention it when it first happened. When there were discussions, you signed away. Why now? Why now? Why now? Look, this ain't about being a disrespectful individual. Not at all. This is about being a man with principles. A man with integrity, with honor. People need to know their place. Enough with this soft shit. And this also applies to your work ethic. Enough with this soft, casual input. You work hard some days, but then other days when you feel down and deflated, you don't do anything. Weak! How do you expect to get anywhere with this level of input? Casual input will lead to a casual output. I mean, this ain't rocket science. If your input is crap, your output will be crap. It will be. And a lot of us will choose comforting lies over the harsh truth. But Ali, no, I sat down and I read 2 books this week. Reading books alone ain't going to change your life. That's sharpening the axe time. When are you chopping the damn tree? When? You can read all the books you want. When will the application take place? When? That's like reading books on how to be a bodybuilder and not actively going to the gym, not actively eating a nutritious diet. You're just reading a bunch of theory, but you're not on the battlefield. You're not practicing the theory. Time is ticking, man. If you don't do it, someone else will. You best believe that. You need to always remind yourself of that. If you don't do it, someone else will. They'll go out there and they'll take the prize that you were so desperately after. If you're really unsatisfied with how people are treating you in life, with how your life is unfolding, with your lack of progress, you've got to draw a line in the sand and tell yourself, enough is enough, you fuckface. When are you going to do this? Especially as an entrepreneur, you need to hold yourself accountable. There is no line manager. There isn't no one to sit down with and review KPIs with and, am I performing well? No, you have to do this to yourself. Grab a damn journal, sit down, keep yourself in check. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Some of you guys, you're wrecking yourself because you don't know what you're doing wrong. You're carrying on, making a mistake that is hurting you. And you'll realize this later on, 5 years from now. Jim Rohn says, in 10 years, you will surely arrive. The question is where? Where? Will you deteriorate over time, or will you become great over time? I said this on a coaching call recently. If you're not improving, you're getting worse. Bottom line. In business, everything is monitored. And it's usually the ones that are not monitoring their outgoings and their financials. Those are the ones that are suffering, and they end up closing because they're treating it like a hobby. Well, yeah, let's just see where this goes. There's no seeing where this goes. This is gonna work out for me. I'm not playing this game for vibes. This ain't a joke thing for me, right? As Drake says, this is serious, man. This is serious business, and Jim Rohn says this. The first step to changing your life is to get serious. Stop kidding around. You're no longer a child. And some of us need this wake-up call. I needed this wake-up call myself in my mid-20s. I realized I was kidding around. I was casual. I'm not telling you to be miserable and not to enjoy your youth. That's not what I'm saying. But you know if your work ethic has been disappointing, you know it. You can't escape that guilt. That guilt is something you need to pay attention to. Do not neglect that guilt. You know you've been slacking. And it's a good thing to have that guilt because it means that you hold yourself to a higher regard. You know you can offer more to the marketplace. You know you can. If you didn't have that guilt, then maybe you suffer from an immense lack of self-belief. But if you have that guilt, it means that you know you can offer more than what you're offering right now. And it's haunting you that you're not doing more. The good news is you can do more. Start showing up for yourself differently today than you did 90 days ago. The good news is as human beings, we can make a new decision today that will alter the trajectory of our lives. It doesn't have to remain this way. And yes, some of us are clinging on to limiting beliefs from 5-10 years ago. But clinging on to those limiting beliefs is just holding you back. Tell yourself, okay, I didn't have a favorable environment growing up. My circumstances were terrible. But going forward, I have the power to change that. I need to move with aggression and speed. And I need to ensure that I show up differently for myself. When it comes to checking disrespect, I need to do that immediately. I need to make sure that if something doesn't feel right, I say it straight away. There's no more beating around the bush, no more, no. There's no more preserving peace for the sake of, no. I'm going to say what I mean, I'm going to mean what I say. Hold yourself to a high regard. The reason why you don't grind hard, the reason why you don't show up for yourself consistently is because you don't hold yourself to a high regard. You don't like yourself very much, which is why you don't work hard. When you work hard, that's an act of self-love. That means that you care about yourself enough to provide yourself with the best. But when you don't show up, when you're invisible, when you're ghost, that means you don't really like yourself. In fact, that means you dislike yourself. When you become fat and broke, that's a sign of someone who dislikes himself. Because that is what happens as a result of neglect. When you neglect yourself, you don't love yourself. You are your own enemy. Good news is you can change that. There's a version of you right now that's a savage. But you've locked this motherfucker up. Unleash this motherfucker. Let him go out there and cause havoc. Let him go out there and dominate the marketplace. Stop standing in his way. Open the damn cage and let this motherfucker out. I dare you. I dare you. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give this video a like, comment, let me know what you think down below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. See you in the next one.